Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to HLAA North Bay of California October meeting. We're located in San Francisco and Marin and Sonoma counties. I'm Sarah Ozer, president. This meeting is being recorded, and Alan Katsura, here he is, from the Diablo Valley chapter, will be editing and uploading the meeting to YouTube site for HLAA California State. This meeting is using CART, which is Communication Access Real-Time Translation. It's live captioning, which means a human being, that's Kelly, is listening and captioning the meeting. So please take advantage of having the captions here. Being together at this meeting is a way of supporting our cause to better the lives of people with hearing loss. If you'd like, please put the city, state, or HLAA chapter you're from in the chat so that we can get to know each other better. The mission of HLAA North Bay chapter is to improve the world of communication for people with hearing loss through information, education, support, and advocacy. Today, we'll have announcements and a presentation followed by a Q&A. And after that, please stay in the meeting if you'd like to socialize or have an announcement. So, announcements are, coming up Sunday, October 23rd, we have an outreach table at Rotary International Polio Symposium. So, you may wonder why we're there. Rotary wants to sensitize their participants to people with disabilities. And we'll have brochures, communication tip cards, and our chapter postcards to hand out. If you're able to be at the HLAA table for an hour or two to talk to participants, please let me know. I'll be there. And more information is on our website at hearinglossnorthbay.org. Our Hope Support Group meets Thursday, October 27th in Zoom. This is a time for you to share with others a success or challenge of living with hearing loss. Tana Cooley will be facilitating the meeting. And again, the link is on our website, hearinglossnorthbay.org. Our November 10th meeting features Michelle Linder from Hearing Loss Live. She has spoken to our group previously. And I'd like to read what she sent us to send out to people attending the meeting. She said, have you ever considered requesting CART, Communication Access Real-Time Translation, for a medical or hospital visit? Do you know what your medical facility or hospital offers in the way of communication access for the hard of hearing, and what they are required to provide via the Americans with Disabilities Act? If not, it's time to think about requesting what you need and helping to nudge your providers in the direction of being more accessible to people with hearing loss who use spoken language to communicate. Michelle will share her experiences from the last 6 months of repeated medical appointments. Her appointments and also accompanying her husband for surgery and the issues she's run into. There are some great positive takeaways from these experiences that lead her to believe that medical, hospital, and healthcare workers would benefit from textual communication solutions as much as we have hard of hearing people would. And that might be the linchpin for a lasting solution. So that's Michelle Linder. And then after that meeting on the second Thursday, on November 17th, the week before Thanksgiving, we'll have our Hope Support Group. And December 4th or 11th, we're looking for a place to hold our annual winter party. You know of a place you recommend in Marin or Sonoma County, please let us know. And again, in December 22nd is our Hope Support Group, and Tana will be facilitating that. Today, we welcome Martha Hernandez from Hamilton Relay. Thank you, Martha, for being here. About Martha. Martha joined California Relay Services, Hamilton Relay, in March 2017. She comes to us with a wealth of skills and knowledge and community outreach. Martha has been serving in the community for over 15 years. And currently she works as the sole outreach coordinator for California Relay Services. Martha's background includes promotora, prevention specialist, and mental health instructor. Martha V. Hernandez is proud to be part of California Relay Services. So please put your questions in the chat and we will ask them for you, or wait until the Q&A. So welcome, Martha. We're happy to have you here. We're happy to learn from you, and we want to know what you do, the people you help, and the devices you have for people with hearing loss.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for such a beautiful introduction. Yes, my name is Martha V. Hernandez. I go by Victoria as well. So I work for California Relay Services, and I want to know, has anyone or does anyone know a little bit of California Relay Services? By the show of the emoji hands, or if you want to unmute yourself and let me know if you know of our program. Yeah, awesome. Okay, yeah. So California Relay Services, we have a variety of services, not only for people that have a hearing loss, people that have speech difficulties, and all of that other good stuff going on. So with that said, can I share my screen, Sarah? I have a PowerPoint, and how much time do I have?
Sure, it's 4:08. We figured whatever time for you to present, and then questions and answers until 5 o'clock. So let me give you have plenty of time, I believe. Let me give you permission to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, I think now you can do that.
Okay. Wonderful, there it is. There we go. Everyone could see that? Yeah, okay, awesome. So yes, so before I get started, I wanted to share, I had a sister, she was late deafened. So she lost her hearing on one of the sides of her ears, the right side actually. And she thought it was air, she thought it was water in her ear. And slowly we started learning how to, interact with her, because she would say, okay, you're talking to me on my wrong, talk to me on my right side of the ear. So we started noticing that her other side of her hearing started going, and we started putting the captions on the TV, just so that she can maintain that connection with us, because I started noticing she wanted to, stay on her own. She would ask me, hey, Martha, can you call the doctor for me? So we were living with her and everything that she was going through. During the same time, I was looking for a job, and I told her, you know what, Gabby, there's something about California Relay Services. She said, you know what, do your homework, see what it's about, because I feel like I have a bag over my head. I can't hear very well. And almost 6 years later, I'm with the company. I believe in what California Relay and Hamilton Relay does for individuals like my sister. So that's why I do what I do, to help individuals like my sister. So a little bit of California Relay Services, including the speech-to-speech, is all funded by the Deaf and Disabled Telecommunication Program. That's a program from the California Public Utilities Commission. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people say, wait a minute, how do you get these phones? Or how do you get this service? What's the catch? Well, the reality, there's no catch. All the services that I'm about to talk to you about, it really is at no cost. It doesn't cost you anything. It does get funded by the California Public Utilities Commission, which means like everyone's putting into this pot with your cell phones, bills, things of that nature, couple cents, which gets funded, and that's how these phones, as you see behind me, they're all at no cost. So every time you hear Hamilton Relay or California Relay, we are one. Hamilton Relay is the one that has a contract for the state of California. They've been providing the relay since 1991. So what is a caption telephone? Well, a caption telephone looks like the ones I have here behind me. It allows the individual to be able to hear while reading what they can't hear. So instead of asking, can you repeat yourself? I can't hear you. Can you speak louder? Well, you'll be able to hear what you can, and you read everything else that's on the screen. And again, it's at no cost. What are the benefits of having these phones, you may ask? Well, just imagine this. You'll be able to understand each and every call, which is very important. When you have the grandkids calling, or you have the doctor calling, those calls are really, really important. If you think about it. You'll make those calls with confidence. You'll be able to, you know what, I'll pick up the phone, I'll do it, you know. It'll increase your independence. As I mentioned, my sister would depend on me to make these calls, but having these CapTel phones, you'll be able to do it on your own. So basically, how does this work? Well, as you see on the screen, let's say I have the phone and I'm calling Sarah. I just pick up the phone, I dial just like a regular phone. But what happens in the background is my phone call goes to our captioning services, which then Sarah picks up the phone, and what Sarah's responding, our captioner will revoice with the special technology equipment, which then it will come to my screen, and that's how I get the captions. And that's how it works. It's just like a regular phone. So no one else has to do anything special using these phones. Some of the features that these phones have, it does have a large display. I know it's hard to see, there's a glare there, but it does have a large display screen, and it does come with different font sizes. A lot of people say, you know what, I'm losing my vision as well. How big do these fonts go? They go pretty big. I haven't measured them, but they're pretty big. And it does offer different types of colors. So let's say you're sensitive to the brightness, you could change the color in the background, or just the whole screen and the letters, the fonts as well. So it does have a lot of good the colors and settings that you can just play around to what you prefer. These phones do have an amplification button, so they are louder than your regular Costco phones or the phones that people get at Walmart. They are louder than just a regular phone. The cool thing about these, they do have the built-in answering machine. You don't have to set up a second device to your phone. It's all in there. When you're out and about and you come back home, one of the phones you can set it so it could blink and let you know that there's a voice message there. So when you pick up the phone, you're actually hearing what's being said and read, as you can read what was said. So that's really cool. I really like that. And if you already have caller ID along with your phone service, then these phones do have the caller ID. It does have like for settings 1, 2, or 3. So, or that too. So yeah. Personally, I really like the save and review captions. Again, when you hang up the phone, you think, oh my goodness, what did Sarah say? Did she say at 4 o'clock or did she say at 3 o'clock? So you just go back and review what was said. These phones are great for memory. So yeah. And as you see, both of these phones here does have a blue button. Let's say something's going on with the phone. You don't have to say that 800 number like you would for new appliances that you get. You just press on the blue button and you'll get connected to our customer care. So what is needed to get these phones? Well, we have what we call the 840 Plus. That phone right there, the 840 Plus, you could either, if you don't have internet, you could connect to the 840 Plus, which doesn't require the internet, or it does. So you could change either or. So all you need is to have a telephone service, and it does come with your electrical power cord. So that's all you need to get the 840 Plus, along with your doctor's note. So we work very closely with our equipment distribution program. So we refer to CTAP. So those of you that probably seen the commercials, we work very, very well with CTAP. So they have different devices. So let's say you know someone that needs a TTY, or they need a device for their cell phone because they don't have a phone at home, then they can get an accessory for their cell phone. So whatever needs individuals does, or that you know that individuals have, we'll assist them one way or another. The following slides that I'm going to talk about are through the Hamilton CapTel. So they're not part of the California CTAP program or the California Relay Service. The first one here, it's called the 840i. So if you see on my right here, it's the phone that looks like the one on the screen. So that phone here, every time you see the number and there's an I next to it, that means it requires internet. Why does it require internet? Well, this one here is different from the 840 Plus. From the 840i, all you got to do is pick up the phone and dial. Now, if you don't have internet, then the connection would be a little bit more different. You would have to dial like an 800 number to get your captions. So the 840i phone does require internet, and all the benefits that I talked about the other phone, this phone has it as well, like the large font, the colors behind it, and all that good stuff. The only difference is the connection in the back. This one here, guys, it is my favorite, and I'll tell you why. Sarah, it says someone's in the waiting room. Should I admit them, or do you got it? Okay. So this phone here, it's called the 2400i. This phone here it is touch screen on the screen. The screen, you can change settings and all that good stuff on the screen. So it is a touch screen. This phone does offer us a speaker phone. It does have a speaker, and it does also have the Bluetooth ability. So let's say you know someone that has a hearing aid and their hearing aid has Bluetooth, then this phone here will connect with the hearing aid. So every time the phone rings, you'll hear it on your hearing aid. One cool thing that I really like about this phone, you can customize your audiogram. So let's say you get your audiogram from your audiologist, then there's in the settings, you can change the waves that, that they gave you. That way you can hear how you hear with your hearing aids. So it doesn't talk about it right here, but I really, really like to point that out because individuals do have their audiogram, and you can customize this phone to that. So what do you need to get this phone as well? You do need to have a phone service that already established in your home, along with Wi-Fi or high-speed internet. Now, let's say you say, you know what, I don't have a phone, but I have a laptop. Well, you can download the Hamilton CapTel app and on your laptop, and you can get your captions on your laptop. As you see on the screen, the young lady there is reading her captions using her own cell phone. And it's like she's picking up a phone. So there's this way of doing it as well. Again, you just go to hamiltoncaptel.com and log in and create your account. Same thing goes with tablets or your iPads. You can also get your captions on there as well. So you'll get what they call a call me number. So that way when you go to the doctor and you tell them, oh, well, call me at this number. So every time they call, then you'll get your captions on any of your devices, as long as you create your account through the Hamilton CapTel app. We work closely with different businesses. So in case you know anyone that needs a caption phone for their business does have to have the Cisco equipment software phone system, if you will. And our IT department will work with their IT department, and they'll get their captions for work too. Again, the way that you can get any of these phones is through the application. We have an application. You can visit our website, www.hamiltoncaptel.com. You could download your application there. It's at no cost, none whatsoever. As long as that application gets filled out by the doctor, then you'll get the phone absolutely free. Now, if you decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with that application, I don't want to go to the doctor, I just want to purchase it, you may do that as well. There's a direct purchase of a one-time fee, $75, if you like to do that. But if not, I would say get it for free. And then for the devices that I talked about, you can do that anytime with any of your devices, smartphones, tablets, or your iPads. Just register your device. I spoke very fast. So with that said, we have some time for questions, or if you want to go back to, if you want me to go back and re-explain something, let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
Alan?
Yeah, earlier, I think you said, I didn't really catch it. The way your service works is the calling person talks to an operator who revoices the conversation.
Correct.
So they're not using like a captioner or just straight AI? It's going through an intermediate person.
So yes, the way the relay works, there's an actual person that's revoicing what, for instance, what Sarah's on the call with me. So whatever Sarah's responding to me, the captioner revoices what Sarah is saying through the software, through a technology software, and that technology it becomes the captions on my screen.
So I imagine you probably have experience with other captioning phones. So how is there, can you compare the accuracy and the delay as
Yes.
opposed to other phone systems?
I'm glad you mentioned that, Ellen. So there's other agencies out there that have almost similar to our devices. What makes us different is options. So aside from the phones that we have for people that have a hearing loss, we also have the relay for anyone that has speech difficulties, deaf, blind, or is completely deaf. So the phones that we have and on all the others, there is a small delay because it's not like real-time text kind of thing. So there would be a delay, like let's say a 2 to 3 second delay. So a lot of people say, wait, there's a delay. Yes, there's a delay. But what I would recommend is if you're calling the doctor, just let them know, I'm using a caption phone, please bear with me. Most of the agencies will understand there's a caption phone being used, and they'll slow down because you do get agencies that or individuals that really speak fast, and you're like, hey, slow down, so there is a small delay. And then same thing when you call the relay, you're also having a captioner that's relaying your message. So let's say people that are using the TTY, they're calling the 711 to get connected with our CAs, captioners assistants, and they'll become their voice to process the call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Great questions. Alan.
Yes, I've had this kind of phone for a couple of years. I don't use it that much. I find that it only gives me a closed captioning one direction. Should it give it both directions? I mean, if I initiate a call, will it record the conversation? Or if I receive a call, will it record the conversation also? Well, then I'm maybe not doing something right.
No, that's a really good question. So the way it works, Alan, it doesn't record what you're saying. It does record what the person you're calling is saying. So for instance, your doctor, whatever they're saying, it'll be on the screen. It's not what we're saying. It doesn't come on the screen. And then I wanted to also say, what was the other thing? You had mentioned something else. What was that? Did I answer your question? Oh, okay, yeah. So
it's not going to record my
correct.
end of the call.
Correct.
But whoever I'm talking to, whether I called them or they called me, it will automatically start recording them. Correct. Okay.
Yeah. And then another thing I do want to say is, let's say your granddaughter comes and visits and you have your caption phone. and your phone happens to ring, and then when she picks up the phone, she can turn off the captions, so that way the volume goes back to its normal ability, or the normal setting, so that way it doesn't hurt her ear. There's that. And then we do also get a lot of, like, there's a lot of mistakes on the screen, or I don't understand. Like I mentioned, they are human individuals that are revoicing what's being said. Let's say you get a captioner that's just constantly making mistakes or things of that nature. What I recommend is you turn off the captions and you turn it back on. You push those buttons that it does have, and you get a different captioner.
Oh,
Yeah.
good tip.
Yeah, we get that a lot, well, that's one of the problems that individuals have said, sometimes I don't understand. Well, just turn off the captions and return them on, and you get someone else. That's a tip I could give you. Yes, Sarah.
So I want to make sure I understand this. Are you saying that the caption telephones are using, I forget how you phrased it, but a machine is listening and revoicing it, or a person is listening and revoicing it? What are you saying?
It's an actual human, yes. So these captioner assistants, they of course they've gone through a great deal of trainings. Everything that's said, a lot of people say, wait a minute, my personal information is out there. They don't record any of that, what's being said. You can freely, if you're calling the bank and they ask for your social, you can freely say that, because a lot of our captioners do go through the whole training of keeping everything confidential. They have to run, they're just very transparent and very legit. They don't record anything that's being said. So once the conversation is done, they move on to the next call. And yeah, they do not record anything. The only recording that would be is the user's phone, that the conversation will stay there and until you're ready to delete it. Let's say there's a conversation that came up with the doctor and you want your daughter or your son to look over it. Once they look over that, you could delete it, so it does hold, I forget how much memory it holds, but it holds quite a bit. Yeah.
So then, are you saying when the relay part of the service, when you say California Relay Service, does that relay refer to the person who is the captioning assistant? Is that
Yes.
what that means?
Yes. A lot of the times I get relay, like running or the marathon, and it's not. It's more like relaying your message to the doctor or whoever they need to call. So it's the captioner, the people that are relaying the message. So it's our captioner's assistants.
Okay, and then for me, it was new that you can get the captioning on tablets, on iPads, and on your computer. Does that mean, though, that you answer your phone? Like if I put it on my computer, I would answer my phone and maybe hear something, but I would see the captions on my computer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So if you want to have your captions on your tablet, because you're always on the go, or you want to just be out at the pool area, you can put your captions on your iPad or your any device that you like. You do need to create the account or register your account through the Hamilton CapTel. Register your device. So what would happen next is you would get a call me number. They call it a call me number because now you'll keep your same phone number, but they'll give you another number. So when you go to the doctor, you tell them, call me at this number. It's called a call me number. So you'll get a number. You could give that number to, like I mentioned, to your doctor or to your loved ones, to get the captions on your device.
Okay, yes, now I understand. I actually have a CapTel 2400i
Oh, I
phone.
love that
I
one.
I do have that here, and I do use it. I also have, and I'd like for you to speak about the mobile phone app.
Yes. So we are currently, it was under a lot of, it was going through an update and stuff like that. Currently, we do offer the mobile captions on your iPhone. I know that right now they're still doing final updates for Androids, but it's currently up and running for iPhones. So if you have an iPhone and you want to get your captions on there as well, then you would do the Hamilton CapTel app. You download that on your phone, and then you can get your captions on your phone.
Well, yes, I do have that,
Nice.
and it does work. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yes. Yes.
So, I can tell everyone that
Yeah.
app does function as you describe it.
Yes. And you know, the good thing about that, Sarah, there's teenagers that have a hearing loss. So a lot of these teenagers don't want to stick around in their house with the phone, so they have their iPhones. They can get their captions on their iPhones and, speak to their friends. So yeah, we're trying to target all areas, all ages. Yeah, so it as long as a child can read, then and they need the phone, they could get the phone absolutely at no cost.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, Martha, if you know anything or if you know about senior facilities. Do all of those facilities have caption phones? It seems like that would be the place to put them for everybody.
Yes. So I currently go to a lot of senior facilities. A lot of senior facilities, they don't have their own internet, but as long as the facility has Wi-Fi, then they can get this phone and connect through Wi-Fi. So I am currently going to different senior living homes. If you could recommend more, let me know. I will actually be going up to Grass Valley and Sacramento next week. I'll be going to different events, national event and the Parkinson's event. So in between those dates, I'm also going to go to senior living up in your area, the northern part of California.
That would be great because we have facilities for sure. I know of in Marin, the Redwoods, Drake Terrace,
Nice.
various atrias, and I do know places in Marin particularly. I think that would be great if you could go there and let them know about
Yes.
these phones, and even let them know about our organization,
Absolutely.
that we have a support group for them on Zoom, or I can do presentations on living with hearing loss.
Absolutely. Yes, Sarah, that's a great idea too. So I'll most definitely, when I'm going out doing field visits, I will definitely put your name out there with your local chapter that's around up that way.
I have one more question. Someone contacted me about a person who died and had a Hamilton phone. They wanted to donate it to me, and I said, you know what? It's not my phone. It's not your phone. I didn't say it's not your phone to donate, but I told them to contact Hamilton CapTel about it. What is the procedure when someone dies and a relative has a phone there?
So once the phone is delivered to you, it becomes yours. So let's say you move to Pennsylvania, you take your phone with you. It does work in Pennsylvania and all these other states as well. But if someone passes away and the family member just doesn't want it, then they could contact Hamilton Relay and either return it there, or yeah, they can contact me and then I'll return it. We try to just let them keep it because it becomes theirs.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
do you send them, for instance, a box and a mailing label?
If they want to, if they're like, you know what, I just want to return it, then yes, we will send them a return label. I don't know about the box, but yeah, I'm sure we should. We would.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
How do you get an updated phone?
So great question, Alan. So when you go on your settings, you can update them on your phone. So these are the models that we currently have. It's the 840i and the 2400i. So there's always constant updates, and not all the time, but like it's always good to go into your settings and it'll say update phone. Just press on that and it'll tell you, give it about 5 to 10 minutes to update and download any new software that it needs. Great question, Alan. Yes.
Another question, Martha, is do you do presentations in Spanish?
I do, Sarah, I do. So if you have a chapter that's Spanish, Spanish speakers, I do speak Spanish. Yeah, and I do presentations in person, virtually. Let me know. I'm actually, like I said, I'll be going up north next week. And if you need me to just come on by and meet you, I can work with that too.
Right. I don't have a group right now, but we try to reach out to different communities, and I'd really like for more of our Spanish-speaking community to have these phones. Or am I wrong on that? Is this?
You are not wrong, Sarah. There is the Spanish Latino community that is in need of these types of meetings. The downside about that is that there's not a lot of HLAA support meetings that go on Spanish that I'm not aware of. But we are in need of these types of support groups for our Spanish Latino community.
And is the captioning only in English?
No, the other language it does have is Spanish. So yes.
So I'm thinking, if you know of a group that would like you to receive something virtually, if we can help make that happen by scheduling a Zoom meeting. I know you can schedule your own meetings, but if I can help with that, then
That'd be
let me know.
great. Yes. Do you happen to have Spanish brochures?
No, I just have them in English.
Okay. Okay.
No, wait. Is it the same brochure that's two languages, or is it separate?
Do you have English and Spanish brochures for HLAA?
No, I think those brochures are only in
Okay.
English, although the website is available in many languages. I think those brochures are only in English.
Okay, just in case I do come across our, and that's my main focus is the Spanish Latino communities. And I have, I do know of some groups that would benefit from support groups.
Okay. And we have our support group the fourth Thursday of the month in Zoom. So if they were looking for a group and wanted it in Spanish, then, and you wanted to be there, fine. I also speak Spanish. But
Yeah.
I just, it'd be nice to have somebody from that community who has
Yeah.
hearing loss and engage them.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's work together, Sarah. I will definitely work together. Thank you. I am reading a chat on the, is that what you were gonna say? Yeah. It says returning the phone, wouldn't it depend who you received the phone from? CTAP would require returning them. Yes, so CTAP does require them to return it. So CTAP and California Relay, although we work together under the same umbrella, we have a different type of like leeway, if you will, how to keep your phone, or if you move, for instance, you can keep that phone. And like I mentioned earlier, if you are like really so wanting to return it, then we will work with you, of course, to get it back. Alan, for smartphones is the only app I know that captions both sides of the conversation. Okay. Is that the question for the smartphone, Alan? Is that what you have asked?
That's my reply to
Oh,
the
okay.
other Alan.
Oh, okay.
He was asking about that, and Olelo does caption both sides of the conversation.
Yes. Okay.
So if that's something he really is interested in,
Oh,
it's
okay.
only available right now on the smartphones.
I see.
Also, in conjunction with going back to returning the phones, so if a person's moving out of state, then because that's what they're getting the phone through a program that's administered in California, that wouldn't really carry over with it.
Our phones, our program is it's national. So let's say you know someone in New Mexico that has a hearing loss. The applications that I have, I can give it to the person that's moving to New Mexico or is in New Mexico, and they can get a CapTel phone too. So so we're nationwide. That's what makes us a little bit different than all the others. And I'm the sole representative for the state of California. So my job is to just, do the whole state of California. But if I have someone that says, I have a brother that's in Pennsylvania, can they get something like this? Yes, I will give them an application, and the brother in Pennsylvania could apply for it, and they can get the phone too. We were almost going to be in I think it was Hawaii. We're close. We're close. So yeah.
Yeah, I think the only part that's a little difficult for me to figure out is the words California Relay Service and Hamilton CapTel. So can you just define again how Hamilton CapTel fits into this? So are you just a part of California Relay Service, or are you all of it?
So I'm California Relay and Hamilton Relay. So the way it works, Hamilton Relay has the contract for the state of California. So because Hamilton Relay has the contract for the state of California, they named me California Relay. So, but Hamilton Relay and California Relay is me, is one. But Hamilton Relay is the one that has the relay that provides the relay for California. So let's say someone is using a TTY. So Hamilton Relay is the one that's making it work in the background. Like for instance, they're the ones that's providing the relay for the TTY, or for people that have speech difficulties, or the caption phones. So that's how we were under, it's all one.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
And Martha, in your position where you're reaching out, you just said you're going up to Grass Valley, Sacramento. What do you find the response is to what you have here, what you're offering?
So when I go up north, I get a lot of good response in senior living homes. I find it a little bit difficult engaging the Spanish Latino community because I feel like they don't have all the services like for instance here in San Diego or in LA. It's just a lot of services for them. And when I go up north, it's like a lot of individuals are working in the agriculture in the fields and things of that nature, because it's more, it's more agriculture up there. That's what I see. I've tried to engage a lot of our Latino community, but I find it that they're more like, what is this about? Like I need to get more in the northern part of California. That's some of the challenges that I've noticed, that a lot of the Latino communities are like, what is this, kind of thing. For instance, like I mentioned, the HLAA, that would be great if there was like local chapters in Spanish for the Latino communities. And the way I find them is, of course, in the Latino, where most Latino populations would be, like, they need more attention, kind of thing, like, because they're really, it's hard to engage our communities up there.
When you say there's fewer services, what do you mean?
I feel like for instance, in San Diego or in LA, I have a very close connection to the Mexican consulate, right? So I see a lot of, the Latino community coming in, and there's people that have hearing loss or have speech difficulties. And I tell them about these programs, and because I go there often, I start engaging them.
I see.
And yeah, and so for the northern part, I guess it's a little bit more different, because a lot of I don't know, as far as like I need to engage with if there's a Mexican consulate up there, where I can start, doing more like I'm doing here in LA or in San Diego or in Riverside. So maybe I'm wrong, but I would love to connect with local chapters up there. And if I can help engage the Latino communities, I would love to help individuals, like I mentioned, like my sister or like my mom. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for explaining. Are there any more questions? Alan?
So I'm doing this project and one of the fields happens to be a second phone number. And when I go through there, there's TTY number, TDD. I guess that's the other one that's common. And on the TTYs, there's 711 is a common number. And I imagine that's a single number that acts as a intermediate number. But then I see some places where they have TTY and they actually have a local phone number.
Yes.
So
Yes. Good eye, Alan. So with the relay, a lot of the deaf community or all the other communities I talked about earlier, they know the number 711. It's like the 411 or 211. For the deaf community or for the speech difficulty community or the blind community, they know to dial 711. They know that's the relay. A lot of businesses, remember back in the day, they used to use TTY 1-800 or 188. Remember that? So instead of remembering that number to make it easier, we started using 711. It's the same thing as an 800 number. But if you see that there's other numbers there, Alan, some of them are specially for people that have speech difficulty. So let's say I have speech difficulty, and instead of me dialing 711, I already have a number where I can just go straight to that communication assistance. And if I dial that number, it's specially made for speech difficulties. So if I were to dial 711, which I can still do, then you'll have to be routed to that communication assistant that would help me with my speech difficulty. So if you're seeing that 800 number or that 711, it all goes into the relay calls.
So I would just be safer just to put 711 in place of all those numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot safer. Well, not safer, but it's a lot easier to remember. Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I currently do relay friendly business as well, trainings. So that means if you know of a business that that you got hung up on, let's say you're calling the doctor's office and you're using your caption call, or someone that's using the relay and they got hung up on, let me know. My job is to educate that business, to tell them, don't hang up. A lot of individuals are still being hung up on because they're using the relay. So there's businesses that don't know there's a relay. A lot of people will think, oh, that's a spam call or that's a prank call, So my job is to teach these businesses how to identify a relay call versus a prank caller or a spam caller or a telemarketer. My job is to teach different agencies that there's relay being used and don't hang up on these individuals.
Okay, so thank you so much, Martha, for educating us about Hamilton Relay, answering all our questions that required such detailed responses. I think we all learned a lot, and we see the need for reaching out to the Latino community and reaching out. You're already reaching out to the senior community, but there I can give you names of places in Marin County.
Yes.
We appreciate the time you're taking with us. And so that concludes our presentation and our Q&A portion of our meeting. And we can say thank you to our captioner, Kelly DeCamp, and say goodbye to her, because the meeting, that part of the meeting is now now over, that we wanted that captioning for.